Our program will begin in a moment. Vámonos, vámonos, vámonos.
Welcome to you all. A very warm welcome on a very cold day, a slushy day, a wet day. And these people, these are hardy people. These are my people. We have special guests representing the many faiths of humankind. The Buddha taught that there are 84,000 paths to enlightenment. We welcome our honored guests who bring with them thoughts and prayers, sharing gratitude from their traditions. Gratitude is a very powerful experience with many benefits. The Buddha noted that people who feel gratitude are more optimistic, more satisfied, and have few complaints. They are rare people. The fact that you've all made it here makes you rare people as well, so. Gratitude also heals our community. People who experience daily gratitude are more likely to help others and more able to provide emotional and spiritual support. In their close relations, the grateful feel more positive about the other person in the friendship. These are all the reasons being grateful is important and good for all of us. Grateful people aren't just happier when things go well. We see people experiencing gratitude to the absolute in the midst of adversity, in the midst of challenge. This is where the solidity of ultimate reality that supports us all is most helpful. This reframes the experience of gratitude by expanding our vision of what we can be grateful for, including allowing and accepting. Painful experiences are gifts as well. Pain is real, but Amida Buddha's kindness abounds in the vast flow of Tariki, other power. Gratitude to Amida in our Shin Buddhist tradition is our response, the response of our small suffering meeting that vast wisdom. When facing difficult situations in life, the practice of gratitude to Amida helps us counter our natural tendency to focus on things that are negative. This reframing is not just on the surface. It's not a simple, the power of positive thinking kind of thing. It is deep and abiding, a sense that goodness dwells above the clouds and the heartache of each day. As Shinran Shonin wrote in the Shoshinge, to be received and taken in by Amida's great compassion is to be constantly transformed by light, embraced by its light, protected by its light. Yet, while my inner darkness is transformed, the cloudy mist of my anger, hatred, and desire continue to obscure true and trusting's bright sky. Just as the sun, its brightness filtered through the mists and clouds, constantly casts its light onto the darkness below. This holiday season is a festive and magical time of year. It invites us to connect with people we love, reflect on the past year, and practice gratitude for all the insights and experience that shape who we are. Let's be grateful. Now we will share the bell offering. We invite our temple bell here to ring 108 times. How many times does each person have to? We might have to ring it more than once, but that's perfectly fine. Somebody who's really good with math can probably figure this out before I finish. Before you come to the bell, consider something that is holding you back from the experience of gratitude. And when you invite the bell to ring, let that go. Put that experience or thought or mind movie that plays over and over again, that fear, envy, whatever it might be, put that into the ringing of the bell and send it out, away, let it go. The thing that limits us from experiencing true gratitude is the thing we want to let go tonight. We come this way. We first bow to the altar, to the wisdom and compassion of the universe. And then we invite the bell to sound to, or has anyone done the math to figure out if, okay, 4 times?
4 times 27 will get
Okay. So if we go 4, we'll have more than 108, and it's always good to have a few extra. Okay. Thinking of that impediment and releasing it, that's the way to go. During this time, Reverend Shelley and I, and anyone who cares to find a Shoshinge book in the seat back pocket in front of you, are welcome to chant the Shoshinge along with us. Namaste.
Do you want to lift the stick up? Put the stick up. Shoshin Nembutsuge.
I feel as though we may have a sound problem. And the sound man is still at home because he didn't have a 4-wheel drive car.
What numbers are those 2? I can go turn it down.
So it's the podium mic and that mic, and then we'll be okay. So one says podium, and that says chanting on it. John is going to walk up to the 3rd floor and take care of that. In the meantime, if we don't go so hard into the mics, we'll be fine. Okay.
Shoshin Nembutsuge. Hongam yogo shojogo, shishin shingyo gannim, joto gaksho dainehan, hishi metdo ganjoju, nyorai shoi koshusei, yuisei mida hongon kai, gojoku wakuji gunjo kai, oshin nyorai ryojitgon, noho ichinen kiaishin, Fudan bondo tokne han, bonsho gyakuho sae nyu, nyoshu shinyu kai chimi, seishu shinko joshogo, ino sui ha mumyoan, tonai shinzo shiunmu, jofu shinji shinjin ten, inyoni kofu unmu, unmu shige myomuan, Gyakushin Kenkyo Daikyo Ki Sokuo Chosego Akushu Isai Zen Makubon Bunin Monshin Yorai Guzegan Butengon Kodai Shogeisha
税人名踏んだりけみだぶ本元年部邪剣教まなく修上新行十字人に南中しな昔インド祭天地論芸中華自治域しこそ現代諸公聖書意妙如来本税置き釈迦如来両合戦一種五妙難天軸ルジュ大事出頭性出の財派有無権先税大乗無情報召喚議事小安楽賢治南行六六新行異行指導楽億年未打部本願次年即時入筆上唯の上昇如来語王法大悲偶世音変人菩薩増論性奇妙無下根如来永寿ただ謙信寺高世老長大聖願こういう本願力栄光移動群上小維新記入功徳大崩壊一脈入大永寿主特使蓮華造世界即小信用法小信有望の人間人図入賞自用自用芸本自動乱両天地超高乱小菩薩来三蔵ルシ十条教本書専業気楽法天神菩薩論中芸報道因果見世願大言栄光ゆ他力少女死因類心人惑前本部新人法承知生じ即涅槃意志無量光明道小雨修上回復系同社継承道難所有名浄土活入万全自力変言中円満特語感染症三風三神慶音言増魔法明道非因異生増惑地偶税思案了解称名化全道独名無償意公愛上三両逆枠公明明語家二年大入本願大智慧幼者小樹金剛心狂気一年総合用意大東逆三人即小法小四上楽現心公開一大教変気安養可二祭先祖終身反戦人法系二道小弁流国十悪人類小部火薬剤非正集中煩悩証言水不見大非無見上昇が本次元空妙仏教連民全幕本部人新宗教書後編集戦弱本願具惑性現代小自臨伝芸慶地異常異少子即入弱上無意楽一心地にの入苦境大自修士と上細無変極辱枠同族自主同心唯化心し高祖性栄光願にし功徳病 道聖祭東方菩提心北条湾らほナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ We will now have a Hindu prayer.
The Gayatri is a universal prayer enshrined in the Vedas. It is addressed to the immanent and transcendent divine, which has been given the name Savita, meaning that from which all this is born. The Gayatri may be considered as having three parts. 1, adoration. 2, meditation. 3, prayer. As Rajan would have us do, please repeat after me. Om Bhur Bhuva Suvaha.
Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha.
Tat Savitur Varenyam.
Sat Savitur Varinam.
Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi.
Bhargo Devaisya Vidahi.
Diyo Yono Prachodayat.
Divo Yono Prachadaya.
We meditate on the most adored Supreme Lord, the Creator, whose divine light illumines all realms, physical, mental, and spiritual. May this divine light illumine our intellect.
Good evening. I'm Father Chuck Durante. I'm the rector at St. Thomas Cathedral, just downtown here, Reno. It's a Catholic cathedral, and it's with gratitude that I'm here tonight with you and those who are with us in the wonderful world of technology. I apologize early to my colleagues that I can't stay because we have a Mass tonight. It starts at midnight. Thankfully, it's later than this, so I could be here for at least part. But please forgive me if I sneak out with my clodhoppers here because of the weather. In the Catholic Christian tradition this time of year, we always tell the stories around the pregnancy of Mary and the birth of Jesus. And one of them is about Joseph, the husband of Mary. And this comes from the Gospel of Matthew. And it tells the listener that Mary was found to be with child after she was betrothed to Joseph, but before they lived together. Problem. Joseph is a kindly and caring man, but he knows that this is not his child. So, if you read between the lines in the story a little bit, he's very torn as to what to do. He decides to divorce her, to break the betrothal quietly, so as not to subject her to any public shame or worse. But then he has a dream. And the angel Gabriel appears to him and says, "Do not be afraid about taking Mary as your wife." And Joseph is reassured that this is an intervention from God and that the Lord will guide them and be with them. And so he sees a new possibility. And "do not be afraid" is the most repeated statement in the Bible, over and over in various wonderful stories. At a time when there is a lot to be fearful of in our world, from climate change to war to violence to hatred to sickness to loneliness, and the list goes on, I offer gratitude for the ones in my life who have been in the past and who are today encouragers. Those who stand by us and with us and reassure us in the worst of times not to be afraid, calling us to do that which is more than we can see: faith, hope, love. There are many, I think, that perhaps we can jointly name, like musicians or faith leaders or actors, who call us out of ourselves, out of our fear, to experience that higher dimension. Gratitude is what we give when the fear goes away. Not because the danger is gone, but because we have risen above it. And we will not be bound by it. And when we acknowledge that, when we know it to our core, we experience a new freedom that opens up all kinds of new possibilities. So I say this night on this theme, do not be afraid. Be grateful. And happy 2023. Thank you.
Share a song that I wrote specifically for the Nevada State Museum and its artists in residence, called Under One Sky. And I dedicate this to the Washoe, Paiute, and Shoshone nations. Pray for peace within our homeland. Walk in peace with every step. May they find peace within us, under one sky, hand in hand. Pray for peace for all the children. Walk in grace with every step. May they eat breath. May they discover peace within, under one sky, hand in hand. Sing along. Under one sky, we are one nation. We are one nation. Under one sky, we are one land. We are one land. Under one sky, all my relations, under one sky, hand in hand. Feeling now. Under one sky, we are one nation. Under one sky, we are one land. Under one sky, all my relations, under one sky, hand in hand. Take my hand, amen. Thanks for singing along.
Thank you, Jim. Pray for peace, because we are one nation, hand in hand. I'm Sherman Baker. I'm the chief chaplain at the Reno VA and also the associate minister at the Second Baptist Church. I'm very glad to be a part of this as we say goodbye to 1 year and enter into a new year with new opportunities, a new year where we can be thankful and we can be grateful and we can express that gratitude to one another. From my experience from the Old Testament of First Chronicle, the 16th chapter and the 34th verse, you find these words, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endure forever." Gratitude is really about expressing your thanksgivings to others. It's really about being thankful. You know, we celebrated Thanksgiving last month, and no doubt it was a day of pausing and giving thanks, but gratitude should be something that we express every day. It is about expressing our appreciation, our kindness towards one another, and most of all, our kindness towards our God, our supreme being. We are all called as people of God to live in a spirit of gratitude. Gratitude should be who we are. We all should be people of gratefulness, and gratefulness should characterize all of us, not just on this snowy New Year Eve, but every day of our lives. We ought to pause and give thanks. There is something for us to be grateful for. Even on our bad days, there is something that we can be grateful, because even our bad days can be worse. Be grateful for the goodness of God. As 1 Chronicles 16, chapter 34, verse says, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, and his mercy endured forever." All we have comes from God. As Jim was saying, the earth comes from the Lord. We come to live and to sometimes take these things for granted. But the earth that we live on, it comes from the Lord. The air that we breathe, the snow that we experience coming in. I'm a skier. I enjoy snowboarding. I'm very thankful for the snow, because we know that the snow is going to produce water, and that water will allow some of our lakes and rivers that have dropped. Hopefully that they will increase in water supply. But all that we have comes from God. Our families, our earth possessions. And it is our gratitude to God that matters. Gratitude helps us to realize that all we have come not because of us, but it comes because of God. It comes from God. God's grace reaches more and more people. Gratitude is that which helps us to see how thankful we are. Whatever is perfect, whatever is good, whatever we consider is bad, it all comes from God. Be thankful to God for all of the blessings in life that help us to see his hands. Our gratitude helps us to see the works of our Father. Our gratitude brings glory to God, and it helps us to see the work that God is doing in our lives. Having that heart of gratitude squarely, it is squarely within the will of God. Gratitude brings us peace, as Jim was playing. And some of us today, we need some peace in our lives. None of us live perfect lives. We all fall short. We all have made a mistake. We all have things that are heavy on our minds. We all worry about living. We worry about our health. And why not get rid of the things that worry us by first being thankful and being grateful for what he is doing in our lives? So gratitude helps us to see God's hands in all of our circumstances, in all parts of our lives. You know, the good, the bad, the things that we're working on, the things that we're in the process of. Gratitude helps us to see those things. God tells us that when we give him gratitude and when we give him thanks, he gives us peace, shalom peace, supernatural peace. He brings peace into our lives. And then lastly, gratitude. It has a way of drawing us closer to God. Our gratitude draws us closer to God, draws us closer to God as we go through the challenges of life. Being thankful brings us closer, not to ourselves, but it brings us closer to God. Our grateful hearts brings glory to God. Our thankful hearts allow us to see God more clearly in our lives. Our grateful hearts center us in his will for our lives. Being grateful in all things brings us peace. Listen, gratitude unshackles us from our toxic emotions. Gratitude helps us even when we don't want to share it. You know, there are times, we need to let people in as we're driving down the road, and gratitude allow us to step back and do the right thing. Gratitude helps us even when we don't share it. Gratitude has that lasting effect on the brain. We feel good when we express our gratitude. We feel much better when we go out of the way to help someone in need. We feel good when we give our resources, our time, our money, in the need of helping others. When we are asked to participate, to volunteer, to help others for a charity cause, we are doing what? Expressing our gratitude to others. In closing, I challenge you as we enter into this new year. What are you grateful for? How do you express your gratitude to one another? How do you express your gratitude to God? The Bible tells us over in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, in everything, listen to me, in everything, give thanks. Not just on certain days of the week, not just when times are right, not just when, your spouse is doing the thing. In everything, give thanks. For this is the will of God. I challenge you today to dig more deeper as we enter into this new year and find ways to give and express gratitude to one another. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here tonight on this snowy night. Judaism is literally built upon gratitude. The word Jew, Yehudi, is a form of the Hebrew word to thank. It was given to Judah by his mother Leah because she was so intensely thankful. We could call ourselves the people of thanks instead of the people of the book, perhaps. The grateful ones. Judaism, the path of gratitude. In 2018, A.J. Jacobs wrote a book called Thanks 1,000. So a couple of years back, apparently he was sitting having his morning coffee, and he wanted to think about how many people did he really need to thank for this morning cup of coffee. Wow. He took a trip down the lane of, you can't imagine how many hands were necessary for that cup of coffee. Everyone from the truck driver, the barista, the person who got the copper out of the mine in Chile for the coffee roasters to work. There were so many people involved in that single cup of coffee. The people who drove the truck, the people who painted the lines on the road so the truck wouldn't go off the road, the artist who created the creative paper cup. Where did the paper come from, and how long did that take to grow? The farmers. We never think of all of the things that it takes to get us to even perhaps where we are tonight, like right here where we are tonight. And it's amazing that all of us have made it here. And as Reverend Matthew had said, something about the few, the proud, and the brave. Here we are. So Jacobs, same gentleman, wrote an article called Why Thankfulness and Gratitude Are Jewish Emotions. It's a lovely piece, and I think he's right. Gratitude must be a Jewish emotion. He notes our many traditional prayers, the first ones that we say when we wake up, which are, let me first tell you what I'm really thankful for here tonight, because I've asked a bat mitzvah student, who's going to become bat mitzvah this coming year, God willing, to come here and do a particular prayer that we do on Shabbat morning. And I'm incredibly grateful, not just to her, but to her family for bringing her here, driving the four-wheel drive truck, shoveling their driveway at the top of Somerset to get her here, and for her for practicing, because without that, that couldn't occur. And for her older sister, who was my last bat mitzvah a couple of years ago, and Anna is here. And Shea is here tonight because it's part of her practice for the bat mitzvah piece. Because public speaking is never easy, right? It's kind of the Jewish rite of passage. And for her great-grandparents that I was in Yiddish class with a couple of decades ago. Yeah, you didn't know that? Okay. So, one of our prayers that we say when we wake up first thing in the morning is Moda Ani. Oh, yeah. What does that mean? Oh, come on. Give it a hint. Thank you. It means thank you, God, for returning my soul to me, because, oh my gosh, that makes me wonder, where might my soul have been? But at any rate, there's many traditional prayers, and This is one of them. Shea, you're up. So Shea's going to read like a sentence or two, and afterwards, our piece will be, "We are thankful." So.
For the expanding gratitude of creation, words known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations.
We are thankful.
For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons.
We are grateful.
For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements.
We are grateful.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression.
We are grateful.
For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared.
We are thankful.
For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom.
We are grateful.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose.
We are thankful.
We pray that we may live not by our fears but by our hopes, not by our words but by our deeds.
We are thankful. Nicely done, Shea. Oh, and by the way, you have homework this week. Whoops, almost. You have homework this week. There was something you were supposed to ask people about.
Oh,
Go ahead.
what is a soul?
So if any of you can answer that question, she's supposed to talk to at least 3 people to answer this particular question. And we invite you to thank her for her prayer tonight. So, yeah, almost there. Here we go. You know, every year they ask, can you come do the shofar? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm really hopeful.
This song is by the Ebbett Brothers. It's called Head Full of Doubt, Road Full of Promise. There's a darkness upon me, just flooded in light. In the fine print that tell me what's wrong and what's right. And it comes in black, and it comes in white. And I'm frightened by those who don't see it. When nothing is on or deserved or expected.
I'm Carol Davies, and I'm going to do this reading tonight on behalf of the Reno Baha'i community and Prayers Without Borders team. Gratitude of the new year and the new day are shared with our brothers and sisters of diverse faith communities. May we continue to arise together in 2023 with a unified vision of race unity and in service to humanity. And a quote, "If we are not happy and joyous at this season, for what other season shall we wait, and what other time shall we look?" The essence of charity is for the servant to recount the blessings of his Lord and to render thanks unto him at all times and under all conditions. From the Baha'i Sacred Writings. In devoted service with you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm honored to share this piece from Muhammad Ratan from the Northern Nevada Muslim community. O Allah, we ask you for the coming year to purify our soul, ease our hardships, and forgive our mistakes. O Allah, for the year that passed, forgive our sinful deeds and our shortcomings, and have mercy on our souls and guide us to your right path. O Allah, for the coming year, bless our kids, guide them, and forgive those who did us any harm. O Allah, we ask you to bestow upon us all that is good of the coming year, bestow upon us peace and end to all suffering, and guide all of us to do what is right. Back to back. No, I got one. I don't think I'll use the cable. Let's see if I can wing it. This is a medley. And from the words of Chief Arvo Looking Horse, all nations, all faiths, one prayer. And my song is my prayer. Christe eleison, Kyrie, Kyrie, thy will be done. May all beings be free. May all beings be at peace. May they be free from suffering. May all beings be free. May all beings be free. May all beings be at peace. May they be free from suffering. May all beings be free. Bismillah, Ir-Rahman, Ir-Rahim. Bismillah, Ir-Rahman, Ir-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, Ir-Rahman. Adonai Eloheinu, V'istakahu, Lamarko Sho. Romelu, Adonai Eloheinu, V'istakahu, Lamarko Sho. Ki, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tayata Om Bekandeya Bekande, Maha Bekandeya Mata Samgate Soha.
Ayata Om Bekandeya Bekandeya Maha Bekandeya Ranta Samgate Soha. Ayata Om Bekandeya Bekandeya Maha Bekandeya Ranta Samgate Soha. Jin.
Tayata Shine your light on me, Baha'u'llah. I am over here, Baha'u'llah. Shine your light on me, Baha'u'llah. Glory, glory. Shine your light on me, Baha'u'llah. I am over here, Baha'u'llah. Shine your light on me, Baha'u'llah. Glory, 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 glory. Amen.
E hotua na mesu o pichas pichu na mana to'o. Te pinana, inaniana, te pinana. Uro ka haga pichas pichu na mana to'o. Thank you, Grandfather, Grandmother, Creator, Maker of all things, for another beautiful day of life. My name is Brian Melendez. I'm Northern Southern Paiute Western Shoshone, an enrolled citizen of the Reno Sparks Indian Colony, and I'm here with my family and my community. This space is very beautiful, and we are very blessed and honored to be able to spend the last several New Year's with our relatives here at the Reno Buddhist Center. It is a very beautiful event, a very beautiful moment. And as I was listening to the concepts of gratitude and all of the beautiful feelings that that concept brings on to the mind and the body, I couldn't help but deviate as an individual, just sitting here just thinking of all of the beautiful things that are there, but also thinking about all the really very difficult, hard things that happen in our day, in our night, in our lives that create structural strain and hardship and lessons that change our lives, that change the way we function every day, that change and force us to think about the way we want to be if we're given the chance to wake up the next day, the way we want to show up for one another. I can't help but think how the world just gets better because we had to go through so many hard things. And if we didn't think about those things that helped us to grow or to learn, then would we even try to be better? Would we think about the world and the people and our families and our communities? Would we appreciate them? Would we appreciate anything? And I think sometimes those things get away from us. And a lesson that I learned as an individual during the 2020, when we weren't here, and then last year, my family, we were out of town, we weren't here. But one of the takeaways that I got from that was not everything that we do is in the form of the fashion and the way we want it to be. And there's a lot of lessons about being grateful, a lot of lessons about being kind and enriched in the act of being with one another. And I feel like even tonight, right? Our beautiful house here, there's so many beautiful people here, and people are enjoying themselves, but the land got so much blessing. Our mountains are going to get so much. Our rivers and the animals and everything that's there, the medicines and the soil. And when the spring comes, we're going to be in a different place, and we're going to be grateful for that. And the subtle inconveniences that happen because it was necessary. And something that comes to mind is that some things are truly inevitable. Things are going to happen. Life is going to happen. But that's what makes this experience so beautiful. That's what makes that wonderment of joy and celebration with family and friends and people so rewarding. Is because we miss things when they're not there. There's a time and a season for things. And in our culture, in our tribes, very often we talk about these times of the season as a time of introspection, a time of hibernation, a time to listen and to learn and to work on ourselves and work on things that make us better for when we go back out into the world. And when we go back out there, we go out there with an exuberance and a care for things. Because if we just moved in the world that way, without ever stopping or without ever being cold or slowing down, then maybe we would miss it. And we look at where we've come in the last couple of years, in the last several seasons. Our families have gone through many things. Our communities have gone through many things. And it is something remarkable when we see the work of our leaders and our community members working through the realities that make them a human being. Because our beliefs, our songs, our scriptures, our way of life, our faith, our beliefs, those things, they help us and they guide us for sure, and we love them. But even the most fervent of believer or teacher or instructor is going to have moments where life gets really hard. But the beautiful thing about life is sometimes those seasons, they don't last very long. And we're reminded later on when we get through that time, and we can even appreciate and find some type of joy maybe and recollecting how hard that thing was that we had to get through so we could be here and rejoice. Because it was worth it. Think about the hard times that you had this last year. And think about yourself right now. You're here. Whatever you had to get through, whatever you had to be, whatever you had to learn, whatever snowstorm you had to drive through, you are here right now. We're here. And even the people that are home, we're here. We made it to this moment. And whatever life taught us, we came through. And that is what I suppose, when you put it all together, I'm a really simple person. And sometimes as an individual, I really try to make sense of nature and my community and my family and the way that we're existing in some sort of balance. And sometimes, just as a really just simple person, I need that. I need to be reminded of things for my family, for my community, and for our future of where we're going. Because that's a very human thing to do. To stop and recognize what we've had to go through in this moment and how we feel right now. It's beautiful. This is one of the last several years, one of the biggest highlights of my family is like New Year's, is being here in this moment. And we needed this. We needed this. I needed to be here with my family. I needed to be here with my family. All of you. Because the stories and the experiences and the things that we tell shape us. It changes us. "23 years ago, my little brother, he died on New Year's Eve 23 years ago. And he never made it past 18. And for a really long time, this day, this weather, this moment hurt so many of us in our families and our communities, and still does to some degree. But it was hard to keep living when you attach things to moments, especially if you never talk about moments ever changing, things ever being different. So when we were invited to be with you in this moment, whether you knew that or not, we knew it. We knew that truth for our family and the things that we were doing, that this moment and this celebration helped my family to transition that feeling of being in this moment in New Year's from something that was riddled with grief to something that was uplifted through celebration and family again. And so although sometimes things may not seem that way, we, my family, my brothers, my sisters, my wife, my children, have been so blessed by this moment. And we could not have been here hadn't it been all of these things that were created and made, like our relatives talked about. The things that were touched, the people that made them, the prayers that were laid out, that have shaped us and changed us so we could be here. And for that we are grateful. And for that we are grateful to you. We are grateful to this house. We are grateful to these prayers and all of these things and all of the spirits and the ancestors that are in this dirt. And so I just, I wanted to share that with you, not to make you sad or concerned or worried or anything, but to know that gratitude sometimes doesn't just come from happiness. It comes from grief and sadness and hardship. And I am grateful as an individual for this moment, because as much as we all needed to be together, in a really, really selfish way, I just wanted to be here with you. And I know at an individual level, just as a human being, I really just wanted to be here. Snowstorm or not, it was necessary, because we still needed to pray. The fires needed to be lit, the bells needed to be rung, the songs needed to be sung, and people needed to know, because it's important in the world, that we're going to show up for you. Because it's no different than us in our communities. We have to light those fires so people will come and find us. And even if people never ever make it to that fire, in their mind they know that we're over there. And that's what it means to be of service. Every single person in here is living through the act of prayer and service. And for that, I am grateful to each and every one of you, because this is a beautiful, beautiful way to wake up tomorrow and reconcile the things that we had to go through, so we can start praying about the things we want to be, the way we want to be. So I ask for those prayers for you tonight. I ask that you go to sleep tonight. I pray that your ancestors bring you a beautiful dream, that you wake up tomorrow feeling fulfilled, you wake up feeling blessed, and that you appreciate your life. And say some prayers for this land. Say some prayers for the weather and the people. Life is good. And this is a beautiful day and a beautiful night. And so with that, our family's going to sing some songs, and we're going to do what we do. So, peace out you. Jammer. Better be good. Do it for the people, man. Pijaça Bejo.
Happy New Year!
Good to be here. Really nice.
Happy New Year, everyone. Please take this wonderful, grateful spirit that we cultivated together tonight, wrap it up in your heart, squeeze it and hug it, and then send it out. It needs to be shared. So, thank you to all of our wonderful presenters. And 4 more minutes? Are we going to make it? Sure. Okay. We can be here together. 4 more minutes.
4 more minutes.
One more song.
Call and response. This is a gratitude song. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. You sing.
Spirit, thank you.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
This healing, this healing, this Thank you for the drum, Spirit, thank you for the drum.